Do y'all smell that? Avengers Doomsday's cooking here. Because we just got even more insane details, news, and rumors regarding Avengers Doomsday, and all I gotta say is,
you know how long I've been waiting for this?
Because not only did Channing Tatum and Simu Liu tease Avengers Doomsday, more specifically Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal as Dr. Doom, but we got other little hints and teases at what the story could be about, including some Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. crumbs. And y'all know me, if I get a little bit of crumbs, I'm gonna make a 10-star meal. Because either way, me and you know what we gotta do. We gotta talk about it. You looking for this? Now, in case y'all forgot or you need a little refresher, Channing Tatum was confirmed to be reprising his role as Gambit from Deadpool and Wolverine in Avengers Doomsday. Roll a damn clip. Well, today he gave us some very interesting quotes about the filming for Avengers Doomsday, but more specifically, what his role as Gambit versus Dr. Doom is going to be. He even went as far to reveal that Gambit is involved in a big fight with Dr. Doom. And he also revealed that it was mainly his stunt double who did most of the action sequences in this big fight scene because he injured his leg early on in the filmmaking process for Doomsday. Now, I know what a lot of y'all are probably thinking right now. What the fuck is Gambit going to do against Dr. Doom? When he says he's involved in a big fight with Dr. Doom, I think immediately you think, oh, one-on-one fight. But no, I'm assuming it's just going to be a big ensemble fight between the X-Men and Doom. But that's not to say that Gambit and Doom can't go one-on-one, which again brings me back to what most of you guys are probably saying. What the fuck you gonna do throwing cars at him? Is he gonna touch him and make him explode just like in X-Men 97? And to that, all I gotta say is y'all must not know Gambit is an Omega level mutant. This motherfucker was so strong that they had to nerf him. Mr. Sinister stripped him of all of his Omega level mutant powers. Now, this is an alternate version of the Gambit that we all know and love, known as the New Sun. I doubt we're gonna get this version in Doomsday. We might not even get it in the MCU at all, but just thought I would feed you guys some knowledge. But the other interesting thing that Channing Tatum revealed about his version of Gambit in Doomsday is that he's not going to go full-on Cajun. So no, his dialect coach is not the Minions. He said the Russo brothers want things to be funny, but they don't want to go full Deadpool. They want to keep the drama and keep it tight. When Gambit gets serious, things matter. And don't get me wrong, as much as I loved Gambit kind of being a jokester, for them treating him kind of like a joke just because it was supposed to be a meta commentary on the fact that Channing Tatum never became Gambit. And I was cool with it just because I thought it was going to be a one-off. And then when we got the announcement that Channing Tatum was going to be reprising his role as Gambit in Doomsday, I was like, please God, don't let it be this version because I need him to be serious. So it's nice to know that they are going to be taking Gambit more serious. And hopefully he just sounds like X-Men 97's version of Remy LeBeau. Name's Gambit, mon ami. Remember it. So now, technically, in Avengers Doomsday, we're going to get to see what Channing Tatum always wanted to bring to the real Gambit. And I'm here for it. Moving on to some more exciting bit of news. Shang-Chi actor Simu Liu said that everyone is going to be blown away by Robert Downey Jr.'s performance as Dr. Doom, which is a sentiment that has been reiterated by many other cast members, mainly the Fantastic Four cast, has continued to say that Robert Downey Jr. has been an incredible leader on set and has been an incredible performer as Dr. Doom. The Russo brothers themselves have said that no one can play this version of Dr. Doom the way that Robert Downey Jr. is about to play it. Now, obviously, I don't think talent or acting prowess was ever the main issue with the backlash towards this casting, because this man literally helped build the MCU to what it is today, and he's coming off of an Oscar win from Oppenheimer. We'll touch on Robert Downey Jr.'s version of Dr. Doom more in a second because there's some interesting theories we got to talk about. But first, I want to focus on Shang-Chi for a little bit because it has been 4 years since we've seen this man on the big screen. I think outside of Yelena Belova, his origin, his character is my favorite that they've introduced post-Endgame. It helps that they decided to make his movie a Western wuxia film with all of that incredible stunt choreography and hand-to-hand combat. But I'm really hoping and praying that he gets a lot of time to shine in Doomsday to really show off his powers. I wonder if he'll be able to duplicate. That'd be kind of dope. Either way, put some respect on Shang-Chi's name for real. Now, moving on to some more ancillary bit of news, but Tenoch Huerta revealed that he's going to have scenes with Vanessa Kirby, Sue Storm. And of course, everybody is losing their mind about the potential relationship between the two. The fact that there's people out there that actually want to see them get together. Like, y'all are some sickos. Don't get me wrong, I understand why Namor has an affection for Sue Storm, but he gives off such pick-me energy and he blackmails her into giving him kisses and shit. Like, it's so fucking cringy. Not to mention the fact that he's abused her before. Like, come on, dog. We gotta shut this shit down. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of this coming up, Grandpa. But if they do decide to give it just a little bit of a nod, I would love it to be like this scene right here where she bitch slaps him, just to nip this shit in the bud for real. Besides, I just can't even see this version of Namor having an affection for Sue Storm, because to me, he seems like he likes Shuri more than anything. Moving on over, Chloe Bennett, who played Quake in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., had to say that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not really considered canon in the MCU. I mean, if you've been watching the MCU and you've watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they've made that very obvious. Chloe Bennett herself even said that she should have been in Secret Invasion, and to that all I gotta say is, what Secret Invasion? In all seriousness, I agree, she was one of Nick Fury's right-hand people. I remember at the time there was rumors and speculation that she could appear. They probably would have just had her show up to die, just like Maria Hill and Talos, so it's probably a good thing she didn't show up. And when she was asked if we could see Daisy return in the MCU, she said, I'm not the werewolf, but this time I'm serious, like, I'm genuinely have no idea. Maybe one day we'll get Quake back in the MCU, but today, it doesn't seem like it's that day. Finally, We got some more interesting tidbits from somewhat reliable industry insider My Time to Shine Hello, where they talked about that rumor going around about Dr. Doom's motivations and his disdain for Steve Rogers. They said if they understand correctly, Steve going back in time to be with Peggy created the incursions that killed Dr. Doom's family. And now Doom is hunting Steve to kill him for what he did, manipulating everyone in his path to achieve it. I don't necessarily think that's the outcome. I think this is My Time to Shine Hello speculating on their behalf, but it does seem like Steve is going to have a big role to play in Doomsday. And like I've talked about this before when this rumor first came up, it just doesn't really make sense because in Loki season 1 they explained that everything that happened in Endgame, including Steve Rogers going back in time and doing all this shit, was supposed to happen. But maybe because when Sylvie killed He Who Remains and allowed the multiverse to go wild, which ultimately resulted with Loki being the one holding the multiverse together at the tree, then maybe this did have an effect on Doom. Now I'm kind of curious which versions of Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter we could see. Like, could they both have super soldier serum? I definitely feel like we're gonna get an evil version of Steve Rogers, a Hydra Cap, because thanks to another rumor, we know Doom's gonna have his own team, and allegedly Doctor Strange and Clea are gonna be a part of that team, which I'm assuming is because he's trying to stop the incursions from happening, so they're like, fuck it, let's stop it. And I've said time and time again, I think Doctor Strange 3 is gonna take place in between Doomsday and Secret Wars and deal with like the outcome of whatever type of incursions are happening in this movie. Because mind you, we do have scenes currently filming at Steve and Peggy's house from the end of Endgame. And according to some other reports, Dr. Doom was involved in the filming of these scenes. But then this really got my brain spinning, and I haven't connected all of these dots cohesively yet, but I'm seeing the dots and I'm trying to figure out a way to connect them. So maybe y'all can help me out in the comments. Because there is that theory that was going around a couple of months ago that maybe Tony Stark is actually Victor Von Doom and was adopted by the Starks in the MCU. And that's why we got Robert Downey Jr. playing a different version of him. If anyone knows who the original theorist was for that, can you please let me know, because I'm not familiar. But with Peggy Carter allegedly having a big role in Avengers Doomsday, I feel like some way, somehow we're going to find out something in the Stark's past, given the fact that, you know, in the Peggy Carter show, she was so attached to Howard. And mind you, remember when everyone thought this was Peggy Carter in the TVA of Loki season 1? There might be some more to that than we all thought. Because currently in the TVA comics, Captain Carter, which I think is like supposed to be a pseudo variant of the actual TVA we see in the MCU, works for the TVA. They even assembled their own little team, including Spider-Gwen and Gambit. So I feel like there's more to this version of Peggy than meets the eyes. I just can't figure it fucking out yet. Now, another theory that I've seen floated around out there is that this version of Dr. Doom we're about to see in Doomsday is actually superior Iron Man, but superior Victor Von Doom from Earth 838, that they're going to retcon the Ultron bots to actually be Doom bots. And the events of Multiverse of Madness caused an incursion with Earth 838, and that's why Doom goes about doing what he does. But I don't know if I like that one at all either. And I started thinking about what the Maker did in Ultimate Invasion for the new Ultimate Universe in the comics. Maybe they're going to take elements from that and adapt that to what He Who Remains originally did. Because remember, he originally had one solid timeline that he saw fit as the Prime MCU timeline that we were originally introduced to in Iron Man. It has been the universe that we have seen up to this point. Because like he says, every step you've taken on this path, I've paved the way. So what if they make it that He Who Remains removed certain heroes from this timeline because he knew they would be able to stand up against him? Mainly Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four, but along with a few others, like the X-Men, etc. Because if you don't know, essentially the Maker makes a new Ultimate Universe, but subtracts some heroes, and then Tony Stark's son decides to get them all back together. It's a big convoluted, it's fire because Ultimate Spider-Man by Jonathan Hickman is peak. And then He Who Remains applied a forget type spell, similar to Doctor Strange's spell at the end of No Way Home. That would explain why Doctor Strange thinks the Fantastic Four charted in the 60s. But why would he be confused about that? In the first Doctor Strange, we learned that he has a photographic memory.
Where did you learn the litany of spells required to even understand it?
I've got a photographic memory. That's how I got my MD and PhD at the same time.
What you just did?
Not only that, he has a photographic memory for music as well throughout that entire movie. And maybe that's why Victor Von Doom has a vendetta against the TVA and wants to steal Loki's powers. Because once He Who Remains got moited and unleashed the chaos of the multiverse, maybe He Who Remains made it so that Tony Stark was Victor Von Doom all the time, but got adopted by the Starks so Doom would never rise to power because he knew he could be one of the people that could oppose his power. It's fucking crazy, it's convoluted, but it's also comic shit. So I could see them going this route, even though I would feel kind of iffy on it. Either way, that's all the new news and updates we got about Avengers Doomsday. My thoughts, theories, and opinions. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. And as always, like and follow for more.